notice, and this is a typical copyright. We continue with the mathematics syllabus for CSEC 2018-2027. Recall that the syllabus is divided into 9 sections, as you see here. We are currently working on the first section. The exam again consists of 3 papers. Paper 1, multiple choice. Paper 2, assortment of structured questions. And paper 3, which is the SBA, if you are in school, or if you are not in school, alternative to SBA. In all papers of the exam, a formula sheet will be provided. Silent, non-programmable calculators are permitted in papers 2 and 3, but not in paper 1, which means that you would need to learn the times tables 2 to 12 if you don't already know them. I repeat, it is crucial that you know this table. Schedule of videos in September 2024, that is this month. I hope to have all 32 videos from section 1 uploaded and published. Then next month, October 2024, the 13 to 15 videos on consumer arithmetic and so on, sets, measurements, statistics in January 2025, algebra February 2025, March, relations, functions, and graphs, and then geometry and trigonometry by April 2025, and finally vectors and matrices, that is scheduled for, I try to finish that by mid-May, so that all these videos will be available. Just a reminder that I have divided section 1 into 32 videos, which will all be available in their entirety on YouTube. This section forms the foundation on which the rest of the syllabus is based. How well you can handle this section will predict how well you will do with the rest of the syllabus. And according to CSEC, this section should have been covered in Form 3 or up to Form 3, that is Form 1 to Form 3, which is grade 9 in secondary schools. We are now here, video 12. And we have to go to 32. This objective says converting among fractions, percents, and decimals. We divide that into 3 videos. Fraction, first of all, to decimals and percents, and so on. By the way, what you see up here is a print screen from the syllabus. So these are the 3 things, the 3 videos that we have divided this objective into. We are here. In the last video, we did that. Now we are here. So now we are here. We will learn how to convert decimals to fractions and percents. Consider these fractions again. You have seen that in the last video. But now we are going from decimals to percent. You already know that these are equivalent. And as I explained, you could think of the fractions as English, maybe the decimals as Spanish, and the percent as French. And these are 3 different ways of saying the same thing. In other words, a half in fraction is the same as 0.5 in decimal, and the same as 50%, and so on. So in this video, we are looking at decimals. We have to carry those to fractions, and we also have to carry them to percents. Now, we have seen a little of this before, so this is fairly easy to do. So we will begin with carrying decimals to percents. And after we do that, in the last part of this video, we will then carry the decimals to fractions. So let's begin with this. How do we carry decimals to percent? And this is extremely simple. To express a decimal as a percent, multiply by 100%. If you find this video useful and or interesting, please like and share. Like and share. And you may also consider subscribing to the channel. That doesn't cost you anything, and it means a lot to me. So continuing with conversion of decimals to percent, we said to express a decimal to a percent, you multiply the decimal by 100%. So if you have 0.5, you multiply it by 100%. To multiply by 100 means you shift the point 2 places to the right. So you shift it 1 place, 2 places, and you get 50%. It's as easy as that. 0.25, again, you multiply by 100%. You shift the point 2 places, 1 place, 2 places, and you get 25%. 0.75, multiply by 100, shift the point 2 places to the right, and you get 75%. If we take 0.8, multiply by 100, shift the point 2 places to the right, it has only 1 there, so we add a 0 to make up the 2 points, and we get 80%. And 0.625, again, multiply by 100, shift the point 2 places to the right, 1, 2, that is what you do when you multiply by 100, shortcut, and you get 62.5. And then if you have 0.15, again, you multiply by 100%, shift the point 2 places to the right, that is a shortcut to multiplying by 100, and you get 15%. So to express a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100%. 0.143 multiply by 100%, you shift the point 2 places to the right, and you get 14.3. Now recall again that to multiply by 100, you shift the decimal point 2 places to the right. In the next video, video 3 in this objective, we will have to carry percent to decimal. In other words, the converse of what we are doing here. And in that case, we will shift the point 2 places to the left to carry percent back to decimal. But that is for the next video. Now let's carry decimals to fractions. Now this is a little harder, but it's a simple principle that you use all the time. To express a decimal as a fraction, rewrite the decimal without the point as the numerator. Remember, we want a fraction. And the denominator will be 1 where the point was, and as many zeros as digits on the right of the original decimal point. So let's look at that in detail. So let us say you have 0.25. We want to carry that to a fraction. So we will rewrite that 25 above this line, and then below it, we will write a 1 for that point and 2 zeros because we have 2 digits. So it becomes 25 over 100. And you can reduce that and you get a quarter. 0.5. So you write 5 without the point over, you write a 1 below where that point is. You replace the point with a 1 below, and you add this 1 0 because you only have 1 digit. So you get 5 over 10, and that works out to be half. Now, how about 0.125? You follow the same principle. You write the 125 above the line, and then below, for this point, you would write a 1 here, and then you would add 3 zeros because you have 3 digits above there. So you have 125 over, so you have 125 over 1,000. You could reduce that beginning with 5 and then 5 again, and eventually you will arrive at 1/8. 0.0082, again, the same principle. Above the line, you would write 82, but below the line, you would write a 1 for that point. So you would write 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then you will reduce that. So you get 82 over 10,000. You can reduce that using 2, and you would get 41 over 5,000. 41 over 5,000. So to express a decimal as a fraction, rewrite the decimal without the point as the numerator, and the denominator will be 1 where the point was originally, and as many zeros as digits on the right of the original decimal point. So you understand how to convert decimals to fractions. But a few reflective learners may be wondering, well, why do you do that? Why? What is the reasoning behind this? So let's look at this. You know that if you write a number, say 256.895, you know that this 6 is in the ones position, that is here. You know that that 5 is in the tens position. You know that that 2 is in the hundreds position. Now, on the right of that 1, of this 6, we have a point. And this 8.8 is in that 1/10 position. So that 0.8 is actually 8 over 10. This 9 is in the 100th position. So if we take the 9 alone, it would be 9 over 100. Of course, if we take the 0.89, it will be 89 over 100. And then this 5 here is in the 1000th position, this 5. So if we take this 5 alone, that will be 5,000th. Of course, if we take this whole decimal part here, that would be 895 over 1,000. So the denominator is the position of the far right digit. So if you only have 2, then the denominator will be over 10, because that 2 is in the tens position. If you have 0.25, this far right digit is in the hundreds position. So the denominator will be 100. So it will be 25 over 100. And of course, if you have 0.125, this far right digit is now in the thousands position. So if you are going to express 0.125 as a fraction, it will be 125 over 1,000. And by the same reasoning, this 8 is in the 10,000 position, so that if you want to express 0.0358, which is a decimal, as a fraction, then it will be 0.0358 over 10,000. In this case, you could actually leave out that 0. So it will be 358 over same 10,000. And so on. So this is why we replace the point with a 1 and add as many zeros below as there are digits in the decimal. Finally, review questions. How well do you understand? So I am going to present a table, and one column would mark percent and one column will mark fraction. Now, I don't expect you to work out the reduced version, just the initial step. So first, 0.54. What is that as a percent? Well, you multiply by 100, which means that you are going to shift this point 2 places to the right. So what do you get? 54%. As a fraction, you write back to 54, and for this point, you write a 1 and add 2 zeros, or you could say this 4 is in the 100 position, so you'd write 54 over 100. 54 over 100. All right, that's the first one. We have 7 to do. 0.6. To carry it to percent, remember what we said we will do. Multiply by 100. To carry it to fraction, we will write the 6 over. We will replace this point with 1, and since it has one digit, we'll put 1 0 only. So it will be 6 over 10. We can reduce that later, but for now, I just want to make sure that you understand this principle. Question 3, 0.368. Carry it to a percent, multiply by 100. This is getting like a song now. So 1, 2, you move the decimal point 2 places, and so you get 36.8%. Carry that to a fraction. You will write back the 368 over, you will replace that point with a 1, and then we will have to add as many zeros as we have digits there. Or you could say 368 over this position here is the 1000th position. So it's 368 over 1000. This 8 is in the 1000th position. Number 4, 0.9. Now, this is about as easy as that one, which will be 90%. I'm just making sure that you understand. You move the decimal point 2 places. If you don't have 2 places, you add a 0 to make up 2 places. So 90%. As a fraction, it will of course be 9 over 10. For 2 reasoning, the one that I told you to do, replace this point with a 1, and since you only have one digit, you put 1 0. Or you could say this 9 is in the 1/10th position, so it's 9 over 10. 0.35, 0.35, carry a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. To multiply by 100, you shift the point 2 places to the right. So by now you know that is 35%. And to carry that to a fraction, you write 35 over, replace that point with a 1, and then add as many zeros as you have digits. So that would be 35 over 100. Or you could say this 5 is in the 100th position, and you just write 35 over 100. Then 6, 0.00. Our answer is 0.75%. And as a fraction, well, it would be 75 over, and you put 1 for that point, and as many zeros as you have digits here. So that works out to be 75 over 10,000. Or you could say this 5 is in the 10,000th position. Remember, that one is in the 1/10th, 100th, 1,000. This 5 is in the 10,000th position. So 75 over 10,000. And finally, multiply by 100 to carry it to a percent. And to do that shortcut, we just shift the point 2 places to the right, and we get 1%. And then for fraction, this is in the 100th position, so it will be 1 over 100 if you want to go that way. Or you could say, all right, I will write the 1 and then over. For this point, I will put a 1 to begin the denominator. I have 2 digits here, so I have to write 2 zeros. So you get 1 over 100. So we just did this part of this objective 4. And in this part, we converted decimals to fractions and percents. That's what we just did. For the next video, we will learn how to convert percents to decimals and fractions, but that would be fairly easy since you can do these two already. And that brings us to the end of video 2 of Objective 4 in Section 1.